Ladies and gentlemen, I'm with Lucian from Honeywell IA. Lucian, you've been an inspiration to so many people. You have a team with 33,000 people. You said that the world today, especially youngsters today, we don't just look for a salary or we don't just look for a job, right? We're looking for something much bigger.
Growing up, and especially early on in my career, and part of it is also inherent in immigrating to a new country. And really, what motivated me at that age was really security. But when I look at today's workforce, meaning in what they work on is very, very important. And so what that means is, as a leader, really providing that vision, providing that meaning to the job, providing what problems are we solving, what societal problems that are really, really important, agreed upon, broad, that we're solving. Because in general, our future shapers, and we call them future shapers for a reason, they want to belong to something bigger than themselves, a cause that's bigger than themselves. That means it's a two-part. One is finding that cause, telling the story in a very compelling way. But even more importantly, this is a very savvy generation, making it real and actually executing it as cause. If you do that, you get that magic. You get that discretionary effort, you get that extra engagement, you get people talking to their friends on social media, you get more recruitment, you get more interns, you get a disproportionate amount of the talent that wants to join you. If you don't get that right, the opposite happens. You get turnover, so really leadership today is about that, and it plays a very important role in what I do every day.
I want to shift a little bit and talk about agents. I want to talk about technology a little bit, right? I think the buzzword of 2025 is AI agents. And I think there is a little bit of automation that can take place this year, right? Do you have a viewpoint as Honeywell IA on this?
Yeah, I do. And what I would tell you is, at least my view is, 2025 is the year of industrial AI. We're a world, and especially our customers in Honeywell Industrial Automation, it's a very capital intensive industry for our customers, which means, what do you want to do? You want to get the most productivity out of your assets every day they run. You want to have as much uptime as possible. And then you want to have the most skilled person running. The ultimate goal is, in the most simple terms, is every day is your best production day, which is usually a very boring day, and then every worker is your most skilled worker. If you accept that those are the two objectives, then industrial AI and this agentic AI that we're talking about is the way to get at solving that problem.
So in a way, you're augmenting all your talent and making sure that they truly are, each and every person is truly your most excellent employee, in a way.
That's right. So if you think about a environment in a utility or in a refinery or in a power plant, the data every day in production is aggregated, it's stored in something called a historian, and so AI can access all the data, and really, if you sit in front of a console and it's your second day on the job, you have access to that wealth of information in a way that is relevant to you, in a way that you can interact with it, in a way that you recognize from a limited amount of training. So you really get the first day the benefit of the 30 years of people before you that came there, and so that's the power of it. That's what's new.
I want to tell everyone a story. You already know this story, but actually, I run a bunch of companies, and one of the companies I run is called Laos Lab. It's a subsidiary, and we've actually been doing some work with Honeywell. I'll tell you the story first, which is, there was this woman who used to speak Manipuri, and which is a language that not too many people in Bangalore know. And she was actually stuck in the trunk of a car, right, or something like that. And she had dialed the police. It was very hard for them to understand because the police call room they didn't have a person who could understand that language. And the Bangalore police came to us with the problem statement saying, you guys know how to use these existing technologies, build on top of it, and build a solution. Can we try a proof of concept? So the software tool they were using was a Honeywell piece of software, right? And I think we have interfaced with it, built on top of AI, where we now have a proof of concept of a calling agent where if you now call 112 in Bangalore, there's a proof of concept where it can sometimes go to this bot to see if we can get better coverage on all languages. I want to ask you, right, with these sort of projects happening globally across the world, what is your viewpoint on how you think in 2025 some of these projects will play out?
First of all, I appreciate you bringing up that example because it's something that we're very proud of. I mean, AI really can come in and save lives and correct mistakes. We have a very diverse workforce, so being able to have that translator, being able to speak in a language that minimizes misunderstanding for the respective worker is very important. So these applications are actually more broad than you would think, but we really are very proud of the example you just used in Bangalore.
Wonderful. I'm very excited to see how it plays out in the next 6 months to a year, because I think we're still in proof of concept, but I think there's a lot of potential here. I have one last question, and this is more like a personal question based on your career, which is and I ask this to everybody, right? Every leader I try and ask this question. What is one insight you have about your space that even your peers might not agree with?
Often you hear this talk, and it's true with every disruptive technology. Well, AI is going to be a job killer. It's going to just put everybody out of a job. And so we're a bit afraid of AI. And in the end, we are far, far from that today. If you look at what AI enables and what kind of lifestyle it enables, it's pretty dramatic. We have offshore oil rigs that now can be unmanned. And the reason they can be unmanned is we have AI that uses models to do predictive maintenance. So if you think about the world before, you either lived on the oil rig and something went wrong, or you knew there was a problem, you didn't know what it was, you flew out there, and then you determined what's wrong. Then you went back to get the parts, to get the equipment, and then you went back out there. So a lot of time wasted. With all these models, the world now is before and after couldn't be more different. So the before world is go discover the problem, get the tools, get the parts, go back. Maybe that was it, maybe that was not. And meanwhile, you're losing production. This whole time there's pressure, what are we doing, why are we not running? The new world is actually their predictive models that tell you it's time to replace this pump, it's time to replace this compressor. These are all AI run models based on past experience. Now you show up planned. It's not 3 o'clock in the morning on a snowy day. It's planned ahead when it's done, it's scheduled. You show with the parts, the correct parts. You show up with the drawings that are all in the palm of your hand on a handheld tablet, and you can do the maintenance in the most efficient, safe way. Production can be scheduled around that, so it's a completely different world.
So a safer, better world for people.
It's safer, it's better, work-life balance is better, and again, it allows those tasks that you had to be there for it, wait for it to happen. Now you don't wait for it to happen. It is predicted. You know what it is. You know how to fix it. So it's a very different way. I call it a more boring way, but anybody who runs any kind of high capital intensive industry, whether it's an airline, whether it's a refinery, they like boring. That's good. Any
safe
maintenance person likes boring. Boring is safe. Boring is predictable. Boring is recognizable, and you can train somebody faster for boring. Somebody was afraid of the steam engine at some point. Somebody was, but it is progress. This is our generation's big step, and I think it's on us to make it actually impactful in a good way. And I'm excited because if I look at the examples of how we're leveraging AI, whether it's inside Honeywell, whether with our customer, it's in that vein. It's in the make life better, back to where we started the discussion, our workforce. If we don't do that, if we're just the people who save money by killing jobs, our future shapers are not going to stick with us. That's what they want to see. They want to see we're transforming, we're shaping the future. That's what we do at Honeywell, and that's what.
I love it. I think technology is in the right hands because you're so optimistic about this. You're also optimistic about the people, and I think that matters. Thank you so much for doing this.
Please subscribe for more.